magnificent horn, that's Miles Davis. Straight up at 11 o'clock, welcome to a Friday end-of-week edition of the Mornings with Ed show. Delighted that you're with us today. An absolutely gorgeous, clear, and sunny day, unlike the surprise weather that we had yesterday. With the rain and chilly skies right around this time. It's going to be a fabulous weekend as well. We're kicking off a fabulous weekend with a fabulous conversation right now. Atousa Doust is the author of In the Shadow of the Revolution. I've been talking about it this morning. It's a book about love, first love. It's also a book about loss, and it takes place in post-revolution Iran. She is multi-talented because we are also going to be talking a little microbiology as well. We welcome to the program this morning author Atousa Doust, who tells me I can call you Tess. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. Welcome into the program.
Thank you.
I'm curious as to. I know you've got to be busy as a teacher of microbiology. Where do you teach?
At Cal State Long Beach.
Okay. And microbiology, clearly that's what you went to school for.
Yes.
Okay. And where did the urge come to write a book?
Growing up, I always loved to write. I always loved and enjoyed expressing myself in writing.
Right.
That was my way of communicating. I wrote very many short stories, and I started writing this book some time ago, but it was my passion always to write.
Okay. And the book itself is the story of Ava and Cyrus. They fell in love in post-revolution Iran.
Yes.
And it's when the new regime took power, when they ousted the Shah.
Yeah, a few years after that.
A few years after that. And they were forced to confront all kinds of restrictions that made everyday life, what people would normally go through life, increasingly difficult on a
Very
daily
much.
basis. And they had impossible choices to face. Were you, and you seem a little young to have been a part of the Iranian revolution in that day.
I was there. I grew up
Okay.
I lived through revolution.
Okay, how young were? So were you a child then?
I was about 10, 11.
Okay,
Yeah, middle school.
as I'm reading this book, and I mentioned off air to you, I found it fascinating.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful. It's beautifully written. It's beautiful. It's wonderfully thoughtful. Is the best way to describe it.
Thank you.
Were there personal stories that you pulled from?
Yes, it is based on some true events.
Okay.
Definitely a lot of true events.
Right.
And actually, Ava was me that fell in love, but I have changed. That's why it's fiction.
Right.
The rest of the story.
Right.
So I lived in that military resort, not live in that 1 week.
Right.
But I definitely twisted the story and changed a lot of things. But many events in the book is true. It's
Right.
based on true events.
Right. And I lived through it, but from across the ocean and watching it happen over there, and knew just what I guess the rest of the world knew was just the basic points. But the way you describe their challenges is heartbreaking.
Yes.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
It was Cyrus. Tell us the story of Cyrus.
So he was half British, half Iranian, and that by itself was difficult to live by in Iran because of our culture, the way unfortunately treat foreigners or people of different background. He had difficulty going to school, being at the school, or making friends. Even just having different hair color or eye color was made his life difficult.
Right. And in your real life, you encountered a Cyrus?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But as I said, the rest of the story is fiction
Right.
about him.
Right.
But yes, I met him in that resort. We become friends or lover just for very few days.
Right. And in a twist of fate, you found each other again. somewhere else.
In the book.
In the book.
Not in the
and
real
not in
life.
real life.
No, I wish we did. It
Okay.
didn't happen.
So there's where the creative mind, and this is what fascinates me. That's where your mind has to actually get creative, and
Yes.
and it's almost a fantasy at that point of
Yeah,
having found him again.
Exactly. So what encouraged me to write the book, the love story part, was I wanted to write the way I wanted to end. I thought, okay, this is how it started. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't find him again. But this is how I would like to find him. So I wrote the book, just pretending and dreaming of the way I might have found him.
Oh my God! Hearing you say that makes me love it even more. I thought I loved it when I was done reading it. Now
Thank
this
you.
makes me love it even more.
Thank you.
I'll just read a little bit from the synopsis, if I may.
Sure.
That it's set against the backdrop of a country that was transformed by the Islamic Republic. And this novel reveals firsthand experiences of how life became increasingly unbearable for ordinary people, forcing them to uproot family and migrate to other countries. When did you leave Iran?
So I left long after, but I witnessed a lot of my neighbors and close friends leave Iran. Some left right before revolution. They knew something's happening, but I lived through them. And many people, if they had connection, if they had money, they left Iran. So many people left. But I actually moved to U.S. in year 1994.
Right.
I become an adult. I went to college, and I even got married back in Iran.
Right.
Then I moved here.
Okay.
So that's why I lived through revolution and the war between Iran and Iraq. So I experienced all of that.
Right. And tell us what your parents went through and what maybe the decision was for them to choose to stay.
So not everyone had ability to leave Iran.
Okay.
After the revolution, it was really hard to get visa or even find a way to get out of Iran. During revolution and war, all the doors were closed.
Right.
Nobody even could, leave by airplane or in the car. So that wasn't an option for many people. And money also. You have to have a lot of money to buy visa, make life outside of Iran. So not everyone was able to leave. So we had to. My mom wanted always to leave, and but it wasn't on the card for us.
Right. I explained to the audience that may not have been familiar with it earlier this week when I introduced the fact that you were going to be on, that for a while the Shah of Iran, who for the most part was placed into power by the United States, that's one of the distractions I told you about. There it is.
That's okay.
But the Shah of Iran had been placed into power by the United States, was ousted during the revolution. Mm-hmm. In comes the Ayatollah Khomeini.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then
I watched all of that. I was there.
Right.
Yes.
And we watched it from afar, and I thought to myself, now there's a religious zealotry controlling Iran. Mm-hmm. How did life change, especially for women?
For everyone, and yes, especially for women. So before, everyone could wear anything, listen to anything, right. Have parties. We had casinos,
right.
And there were classrooms, mixed girls and boys. We were living a normal life like any other country. So they kicked Shah out. I was in middle school. And a lot of people from different part of the country, they become like a group of, protesting against Shah. Mm. And they were feeding everyone, telling Shah is a bad person.
Right.
And as a child, I didn't know anything, so I was just listening. And I'm sure a lot of people, they just followed them. Because Iran was, the faith in Iran, the belief was Islam. So when they said the Muslim leader will come and take over, people loved it. Oh, it's going to be Islamic country. They didn't know how miserable their life going to be.
Right.
So people got deceived, basically. So they helped to, kick Shah out.
Right.
They were happy about the change. But God knows how horrible everything got. So it took few years. They didn't change everything right at the beginning. Little by little, they tightened the knot.
Right.
They so the first 2-3 years we were free still what to wear, but later on we had to cover our hair, cover our body, and they separated men and women, girls and boys. We weren't able to wear even light colors, like for guys even. They weren't allowed to wear short sleeves or bright colors. And then there was all restriction. We can't listen to music. We used to listen to all these, Bee Gees,
Right.
and all the American music.
Right.
Everyone loved it. No movies. It was just horrible. Yeah.
So, your freedom, and I'm putting it in a position of being next to what's happening today here in this country, as we see that a zealot Christian right seems to be gaining power, and people seem to slowly be losing freedoms, and some people cheer for those losses of freedom without really realizing what's down the road. I'm curious as to the actual, like you said, you weren't able to have music or listen to music, Western music.
Mm-hmm.
That loss of freedom, was there an immediate upset and need to protest, or those were just going to be squashed by the government at the time?
Oh, squashed.
Right.
There was no freedom. As I said, they did it so little by little,
Right.
so graduate. So by the time people realized they were already being involved and they were in power, and people who tried to go against them, they got killed.
Right.
Really killed. It wasn't just jail.
Right.
And so many people, at first they took all the people were working for Shah, for that regime, in the jail,
Right.
and then all of them one by one got killed. And so people basically got terrified. Oh, we can't say anything.
Right.
We have no voice, because as soon as you complain, you're dead.
Right.
So it was hard to do to change anything. We had to follow. We were quiet. We were scared. Everyone was scared.
And many of the killings were done in public to increase the terror on the population.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they showed it on TV, on magazine. Yeah, to exactly scare people.
Right. At what point did your parents think we've got to get her out of here?
I remember I was in high school, so couple years after all these difficult situation, this restriction happened. My parents were talking about getting us out of Iran.
Right.
They tried to find relatives or connection to help us. It was hard. Nobody ever wanted to give visa to Iranian. They just didn't. So they wanted us to leave, but we still stayed.
Right.
I left when I was married. It was long after. We sort of got used to this all limitations and this lifestyle change. I grew up basically with that lifestyle.
Being oppressed. You grew up
Yes.
and you finally got used to the oppression.
Yes. Then we made living, we learned to just deal with this. Okay, we'll do everything underground. We have parties. We would pay a police or a guard to keep it quiet. We can have a party. And we just find our way to make life possible even when it's so challenging.
Right.
And it was okay to cover. I didn't care anymore. Okay, we'll take it off when we have a party at home. I'm going on the street, going to school. I have to cover, I'll cover. And again, because I was a kid, I got used to it. So it didn't bother me as much. That bothered my parents' generation, because they lived a free life as an adult.
Right.
For them, it was much more difficult.
Are your parents still around?
Yes, my mom is here. My
Okay.
dad passed away.
Okay. And this is fascinating, and I'm reading on the Text Connect from our listeners across the world that are saying the same thing. What an incredible story!
Thank
What
you.
an incredible journey that you've taken, and what courage that you have. Has this the experience made you stronger?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I think when you're always been, threatened and
Right.
living in the harsh environment, you get the thick skin.
Right.
You gotta leave, and especially when there was a war. I would walk on the street and the bomb will, shake the ground next to me. I guess you have no other choice just to make a living and enjoy every moment you have. Actually, I am writing my second book,
Nice.
and that is more going to all these details, how everything started from the beginning to the end. So
I can't wait for that read.
Thank
I
you.
can't. So I want to just a moment, if I can, focus on the Iran-Iraq war. And am I misinformed if I say that Iran and the government was recruiting boys to fight in the war?
Iran and Iraq?
Yeah.
Yes. They actually, back then, because I was in college by then.
Right.
And they said all the firstborn are exempt. All the boys in school, college, also exempt. But then they lost all the men.
Right.
And they came and took, so half of our class were guys. They took all of them. And they closed the university because boys are gone. And it was almost at the end of the war when they bombed the chemical bombs.
Right.
And when our boys came back, one lost eyesight, one was deaf, and it was bad. Yeah,
Okay.
they did that.
And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna skip ahead and then come back. But currently, currently, right now, there are people protesting in the streets, and we have no accurate reports, but we understand that maybe thousands of protesters have been killed. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel where eventually the protests will take hold?
This is what we're hoping and praying. I talked to my family in Iran just from yesterday, the day before yesterday. They had internet, so in WhatsApp we were able to talk.
Okay.
And
Because their internet was cut off
yes,
for a while.
it was
Right.
cut off.
Right.
It's still only one family in one of the cities far from Tehran. People in Tehran, north of Iran, they still don't have internet because they didn't respond to me yet.
Right.
They're still very hopeful that U.S. can get rid of the Muslim leaders.
Right.
And Shah's son been in LA and he's been trained and everyone loves him. He's very popular.
Right.
So we're hoping he will take over. So we still have hope.
Okay.
We just don't know why U.S. paused.
Yeah.
But we're very
Well,
hopeful.
here's why. Because you can't trust anything that this administration in the U.S. says. I'm just giving you what I think. If Donald Trump says that he stands with the protesters, he doesn't even stand with protesters here. The freedom to protest in the United States. So there's a lot of talk.
Yes.
But to actually commit American lives for Iran, I don't see him doing that.
He's done it before when there was a war between Iran and Iraq. All the American soldiers got killed in that war.
That was a different administration.
Oh, I see.
That was a different administration.
Okay.
And I'm heartbroken to think that the Iranian people, a noble and freedom-seeking people, would be lied to. I'm heartbroken about that.
Okay. That's sad.
It is
Very
sad, and I'm sorry to. That's just, and again, that's coming from my opinion.
No.
But I know that we had administrations before that were very, very people-centric. So anywhere in the world that there was this kind of oppression, that we used to be the country that would go in and do what we could to help them. I don't think we're that country anymore.
Okay.
And I can see the sadness in your face as I said that.
Yeah,
and
I was
apologize.
very hopeful. Yeah, I didn't know. I was just still pondering why the pauses for. Still, part of me hoped this is going to happen.
Right.
I was just talking to a friend. I don't know how much. I mean, I think I've said enough. I can say more. I was just talking with my friends, and they were asking me about the same thing. And I said, although we're hopeful, although we're praying for this change, but at the end, politics is politics. And powerful countries like U.S. like to keep smaller countries like Iran stay as they are, because at the end it helps with the whole big picture of economy for US or again powerful countries. So there is a possibility of no change as well. But we kept hearing this time is the time. So I don't know, I had a lot of hope.
So without and I apologize if it seemed like I ripped the heart from your chest with saying that. It really comes down to the people having to make this difference.
Yeah.
And
yes.
As you talk to family and friends that are still there, do you feel the resolve that they have and that they will fight?
Yes, they're very, very brave, and they're very hopeful. So I don't know if they have this information, and I don't want to be the one telling them anything.
You want
but that's the reason they're protesting and getting killed. They think it's going to get somewhere. It's going to change the country at least better for other people, because they're dying anyways. There's a lot of sacrifices are being done.
I don't know if you even know the answer to this, but I'll ask the question. The relationship between the religious zealots that control Iran and the military.
The owning military.
Is there any faction of the Iranian military that would support the people ever?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I know if they do, they all get killed. So I doubt it if they have that freedom of choice. At one point, it was last year, I heard that they helped the protests in Tehran, but they also got killed with the protests. So I don't know this year.
Okay.
So I can find out, I can ask, but I highly doubt it.
Okay. I want to go back to the book for a moment, if I could. And after enduring years of hardship, Cyrus finally escapes this cruel regime and finds himself in England. And by chance, Ava and Cyrus run into each other. Tell our audience about that.
Which were the...
Where they...
when they met, or how?
When they run back into each other after Cyrus escapes the brutality of Iran.
Yes. So that part is it's at the end of the book. The very end of the book. And I finished the book with them meeting. So there's not much after that. But that meeting, so Ava was in art school, so she had her art display, and Cyrus' brother had a girlfriend who her parents were in charge of art gallery. So it was just funny random circumstances, and Cyrus just tagged along with his younger brother to go to art gallery, and he sees one of the paintings on the wall. It was one of the photos that Ava took. So when in that 1 week they were together at the military resort, Ava had a camera taking photos that she can paint later. So one of those paintings was the painting of them that she took, and that's how he realized Ava should be here, because that's her painting. So I got the goosebumps myself.
I'm not kidding. I got goosebumps as you told it and as I read it. This is an absolutely beautiful story and so wonderfully told.
Thank you.
I know it takes effort to write a novel. I know. I know it. Were there times as you're writing it, were there times where you changed events or a chapter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that moment when you decide to go, you know what, I'm going to take it a different direction. What's that like for an author?
Oh, it's such a great feeling. You feel like you are creating the world, the
Right.
people. It's very powerful and very, I don't know how to describe it. It's, you feel like you have all control. You can create the world the way you want to and make it the way that is pleasant or something you want to be. It's a very powerful feeling. I know
It must be. It must be. I have never written a book, and I not only was engrossed in the story, I was taken in by the story, and I felt like I was part of it. But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, in writing what is essentially a fantasy
it is.
of real events, the creativity behind that is incredible.
Thank
so
you.
hats
Thank
off
you.
and applause to you.
Thank you so much.
The book, and we will come back to it in just a moment, the book is In the Shadow of the Revolution. It's a book about love and loss. It's this wonderful story that takes place in post-revolution Iran. I did mention to the audience that you are also a microbiologist. You teach microbiology in Long Beach, and you went to college in Iran, so you got your microbiology. What term? Where did you go into microbiology?
Yeah, I went to college in Iran. It was short. It was just medical technology.
Okay.
And then when I came to US, I went to Cal State Fullerton, get my master's
Okay.
in biology. And my thesis was more about DNA manipulation, so it was molecular biology.
Okay.
During grad program in Cal State system, they ask grad student teach labs. And years ago, when I was a student, my English was less perfect. So I said, no, I don't want to teach. I want to get my master's, go work in a biotech company. And unfortunately, I took this teaching seminar class because it fit to my schedule, and it was required to teach one lab at least.
Okay.
So that's how I forced to teach. And I was keeps telling my advisor, oh, my English is my second language, I'm not good. He said, no, you're all clear, you're perfect,
Yeah.
they will understand you. It's only biology 101, you'll be fine. So as I started teaching, I felt in love with the students, the interaction with them. I loved the teaching. So I ended up teaching all different biology labs during my 3 years of grad program. And when I graduated, Fullerton hired me to teach microbiology because it relates to my thesis, the emphasis of my thesis program, and also general bio. But then I had a small kids, so I switched to community college. I still teach one class at community college, microbiology, and
Okay.
also Cal State Long Beach. Yeah.
All right. And it must be fulfilling to teach.
Yes.
I find teaching one of the most noble professions on the planet. As a teacher, it is.
It's rewarding.
Yeah,
Students come back and tell me that, oh, we learned so much that helped me to get to nursing school and this and that. It is very rewarding.
Right. And after hearing your story, there is a sense of nobility that is unmatched there. So
Thank
you for being a teacher.
Of course.
I specifically, a dumb guy off the street question about
No.
bacteria and viruses.
Uh-huh.
We just went through a worldwide
Pandemic,
over a virus. If you were to have a crystal ball and look 20 years into the future, will this happen again? And the next time it happens, will the viruses mutate faster and be and our preventions be less effective?
It doesn't matter faster or less because no virus or bacteria, they're so small, their life cycle is so short.
Right.
We regenerate maybe every 15, 20 years, make babies. For bacteria, viruses, every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes is very short. So because they replicate so fast, the chance of mutation, means mistakes in their DNA, is very high. In general, mutation is rare, like 1%. But when they replicate too many times so fast, this chance goes up. So there is a mix-up or mistake in their gene, so mutation happens. But the result of mutation is not always good for the bacteria or for us. So it's very random how that gene change going to affect that microbe's life. Is it going to bring something good for microbe, like stronger toxin or stronger enzyme, or maybe even kill the microbe? But again, because this happens so many times, it is possible that during this replication and mutation, they will get this new gene that make them stronger. And although we might have antiviral or antibiotic, but now they are producing different protein or enzyme. So this antibiotic is not gonna, defeat that.
Right.
So that is always a chance. It's always been. But something like COVID, it was scary because a lot of scientists, they do research and they work on different genes and microbes, and they save their research products in the vials in the lab. So I don't know how the news was accurate. They said that those bottles got broken, virus got released. But in general, doesn't matter. This can happen anytime, at any point. Like we work with the E. coli in the lab. The E. coli we work in the lab is a harmless E. coli. But I tell my students, this E. coli been grown overnight for us to work in the lab. You have no idea if during this replication overnight, one E. coli become 100 at each replication, there is a chance of mutation. It can become a very nasty E. coli to kill you. So to treat them as a pathogen, wear gloves, wear goggles, and be careful, work with the flame, because you don't know if change. So this change can happen at any time.
Magnificently explained.
Yeah?
Thank you very much. Thank you. You should be a teacher. And one final dumb guy on the street question about this. You mentioned DNA. Is the answer then to change our DNA, to engineer human DNA to resist some viruses and some bacteria?
You're asking if it's possible?
Is it do you see that as the only answer to protect us against danger, like a COVID, to re-engineer the human DNA so that we are resistant to that?
I don't know if I have answer to that question. It's very, very complicated, but we are able to engineer piece of DNA, like a fragment, a stretch of DNA, and send it to our body in a form of harmless body of virus or body of bacteria. And that gene will express some protein enzyme to defeat. That could be and a lot of vaccines are being made that way. But I don't have the correct answer to your question.
Okay. And one more on this, and then I want to go back to the book for a moment, if I may. Here in the United States, this administration has stopped the funding for mRNA, which appears to be the effective model. Describe for us the problems that might cause down the road without doing more research for mRNA vaccines. If we can't research the mRNA vaccines going into the future, are we then more liable to get... No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that is just one way of doing the research. A lot of viruses, so maybe this is more technical, but in the norm is the DNA will be transcribed to mRNA, then mRNA be translated to protein. And this is the norm in human, animal, plants, and most bacteria. But some viruses, like COVID virus, they don't have the DNA. They only have mRNA. So it's like a shortcut to produce the enzyme or replicate. So it was more door open to study. but it's not the end of it. We can still work with the DNA and figure things out.
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I took a complete left turn, and I was just fascinated by microbiology. So I will once again remind the audience about the book, In the Shadow of the Revolution, the story of two young people. They are Ava and Cyrus. They fall in love in post-revolution Iran, and this happens as the new regime takes power. They're forced, of course, to confront incredibly harsh restrictions, which you've heard about here today, and it made life increasingly difficult. So faced with those impossible choices, they were separated by circumstance, and they lost contact with each other. And I got chills when you explained that they found each other once again. This next book you're working on, when do you expect to complete it?
Probably another few months.
Okay.
It will take time. Writing first time, it doesn't take that long, but editing and revising takes a long time. So maybe a few months.
Okay. And we are currently looking for a publisher for In the Shadow of the Revolution. Have people reached out to you, or is it just basically you having to reach out everywhere?
I have been reaching out to agents and publishers, and I have got back some rejections.
Right.
But still, it's better to get the rejection than not hearing anything back.
Story of my life.
Yeah, I keep trying. I hear if I want to go traditional way, which is what I'm doing, I don't want to self-publish. I want to find agent or publishing company to publish it for me. It might take a time. I'm trying to talk about this more. Maybe I can find some connections, some people to help me out to publish this. Hopefully it will happen soon. But manuscript is ready, all done. It just need to be published.
Okay. I want you to know that anything that we can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. And I would love for you to come back often. There's so much to talk about with you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Atousa Doust is the author of In the Shadow of the Revolution, and our guest this morning on the Mornings with Ed show on the all-new Voice of Laguna. Thank you so much for the honesty of this conversation, and thank you for, being a teacher and having the courage that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and it was a great opportunity to talk about my book and about microbiology.
Thank you. All right, Atousa Doust, thank you so very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's 11:38, 22 minutes in front of the noon hour.